procedure is basically the same. Just download a file from the net and then select it here in the VirtualBox interface, because VirtualBox interface is pretty much the same for all operating systems out there that are supported. So I have CentOS 64 DVD. Yep, I will take this one. Is this the one that I want? No. I have the DVD down below, so I will select that one. And there we go, I have the ISO file. Go ahead and click on OK. Now I will power the machine on and let the installation fly. Install CentOS 7. I can also test the media, but I won't, because this is a virtual machine and I'm fairly certain that everything is alright, as I have used this image prior to this tutorial for other purposes. This hardware has not undergone upstream testing. Please consult. I don't really care. It will run. It is amazing how many things can actually go wrong and Linux system will still actually manage to boot and run, which is a bit weird, but still it works. Don't ask me how, it just works, and you definitely won't need to know this for Red Hat, how, why, kernel, the background of things, etc. for the exam. Anyway, go ahead and select your language. I will leave the default one because actually I'm going to select UK because I use a UK keyboard. So go ahead and click on continue. Going a bit slow here, but doesn't really matter. I will just select the default options here primarily because it doesn't really matter to me, but I don't want a minimal install. I personally will go ahead and say server with GUI, but you can also say minimal install, and this will consume the least amount of resources in your system, but I want the server with GUI. So what do we want here? There are a few things that we can actually install from here, so we can go ahead and select our desktop environment, which will be KDE, and notice that you do have more options here depending on which version of Red Hat you purchase from the net, and not the version, but which package of Red Hat that you purchase from the net. That is the amount of options that you will have, like these here, but with CentOS you have all the options by default. That is why it is good to have CentOS first to actually test out all the options and then actually buy Red Hat if you need it. So what else do we need? So KDE, I don't really need any of these things. I don't need a database, virtualization tools, not at the moment. Development, compatibility libraries is not a bad idea. Always. We will later on install LDAP as well. I wonder if I can actually find it here. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I will show you how to install it from the command line. Anyway, so we have done that. I don't really see the need for anything else really. I just need a desktop and that's it. Everything else I will install manually. We'll go ahead and click on done. Installation destination, I will also just click on done. That's gonna consume the whole disk. I'm sure that you remember we went through all these steps and we have seen how all this works, and hopefully by this point of time it is all clear. If it's not, go ahead and ask any questions that you like. I want to configure my network settings. I want to say bridged mode, and oops, I forgot to do this. Deny, allow all, okay. Network not connected. I do want the network to be connected during the installation. It can be very useful and very important. So begin installation. Set root password, just some nonsensical password that doesn't really matter, but I would advise you to actually put something strong on a production environment. For a virtual machine you can do whatever you want here pretty much. You need to click on done twice if the password is bad. So next, for username we will use creator, and down below I need to type in the password. I'm just gonna go ahead and type in the same one because it's completely relevant now. Click on done twice because it won't allow you to actually do it without clicking it twice if the password is not if the password does not conform with the standardized rule. But since we are the ones performing the installation, it is assumed that we are root, that we have complete control, so we can bypass all of those things. Anyway, I will pause the video here and then we will continue, not in the follow tutorial, but rather instead we will continue within this tutorial. I'll just pause it so you don't have to sit through the installation for no reason of whatsoever. Okay, so the installation is complete. Let's just go ahead and reboot the device. Reboot the machine actually, sorry. Should take just a bit of time, no big deal there. There we go, it's booting it up. Just select the first one, press enter, that's all you need to do. And then you'll be prompted with a login screen, just like in Red Hat, no big deal there. Pretty much the same thing in every sense that matters to us. Let me just go ahead and exit this to see if I can expand it. Now it's not going to catch virtual guest editions by default. I won't show you how to install VirtualBox guest editions here because I already have for Red Hat, and it's exactly the same procedure. There is nothing different that you need to do here in order to obtain a full screen. So I will do that outside of a tutorial in order to save us a little bit of time. Now you will need to accept a license here, just like you have to do with Red Hat. So just go ahead and click on done, but you don't have to pay for anything. Just say finish configuration and that's it. It's completely free, no extra charges or anything of a kind. All the updates, repos, and everything else that you might think of that comes along with CentOS is pretty much free as far as CentOS itself as an environment is concerned. I'm just waiting for it to boot up. Sometimes I wish I had like 4-socket computer or something of a kind with 4 processors on it. That'd be nice. Then I could assign multiple cores to these machines. I can do so now, but it would slow down my physical machines significantly. So let's go ahead and log in. Oops. Just sign in. Shouldn't take long now. Just this black ugly screen. Oh well, what can you really do about it? That's the way it is. That's the way you get accepted. Any moment. Come on. I am literally begging you. Please, pretty please. Booting for the first time. I guess it takes a bit longer. Excellent, so there we go. If I just right click on the screen and click open in terminal, that's the fastest way to open up a terminal. And just as I say that, okay, there's the welcome screen. I need to go ahead and click next through that, basically. If you want to configure a keyboard, feel free. Okay, so now we have our terminal here, and oh, come on. I do not require GNOME help. Okay, this is, to be honest, it's gonna ask you this the first time you install it. I will go ahead and zoom this in so you can see it better. Excellent. So what do we need here? What we need to install the SSH server, and we need to verify that we have connectivity. Now let's do a few things with the network first. There will be a separate section on network configuration, but for the time being I will just go through just a few basic commands that you can memorize like this, and then later on I will give detailed explanations as far as network is concerned. We need to know these things because, well, we need to know the IP address if we want to connect to the other server, or we need to know the host name, but then that host name needs to get resolved somewhere, and we don't have a DNS server. I don't really have a DNS server here. Rather instead, problem has occurred in first boot. I sincerely hope I didn't click restart there. Anyway, I don't have a DNS server set up here, so we will be using IP addresses, and then later on we will see what we'll use for LDAP. The first thing that we need to do is verify that we are connected to internet, so just go ahead and type in ping, and the address that's at the top of my mind is basically google.com unknown host. So we do not have internet connectivity. This can be a problem. Go ahead and click on devices. Let's see, are we in bridged mode? bridge mode, P8, P1,